Fortnite might be planning to spoil Chapter 7 almost 2 weeks before it comes out at the end of this month. So Fortnite may have just already began one of the most confusing and kind of controversial pre-launch situations that we have seen in a very long time, especially when it comes to a brand new chapter. It's been confirmed that content creators are getting early access to Chapter 7, and while that does kind of sound cool on the surface and on paper, it's already stirring up a lot of concern in the community, and a lot of people are really worried right now. Some people think that it's a great way to build up hype and get feedback before release on a brand new chapter when they're going to be changing a bunch of things, and some people feel like it completely ruins the mystery and excitement of a brand new chapter and adventuring through it on your own. And honestly, I can kind of see both sides, because depending on what they're allowed to show, this could either be a marketing win or a total spoiler disaster for one of the most highly anticipated chapters in terms of story that we've ever seen. So let's talk about everything that's been confirmed, what people are saying, and how this might actually affect the launch of Chapter 7 in a really good or very bad way. So if you guys don't know, earlier today, a kind of bomb dropped in the Fortnite community in terms of Chapter 7. Now, we really don't have a ton of news about it. There's been a few leaks here and there that I'm not going to talk about in today's video, but one thing that was confirmed was by a content creator named Dingoso. I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong, but that he and a few others have actually been invited to play the new chapter early, and they're going to be showing it on November 19th. From what I gathered, they have already played it. Maybe they went and played it when they played the Simpsons season, a few weeks ago before the season actually came out. Now, November 19th is over a week, about a week and a half before the season actually goes live, which is a huge deal considering this is a brand new chapter following one of the biggest storyline events that we're ever going to see. Now, in a tweet earlier today, he said, "Some things are secret and I don't want to ruin anyone's experience. Everything I post will be 100% public and allowed. No spoilers, just hype." So it does sound like Epic has given creators some level of permission on what they can and can't show, and that's really, really big, and I think it's pretty cool. But here's the thing, we don't actually know what's going to be allowed. Is gameplay allowed? Is the map allowed to be shown? The battle pass, or just a few teaser shots or some cryptic messages like we saw in the first official teasers that creators have been giving out? That's the part that's really worrying people, because it's going to be kind of difficult to gauge which videos should you watch and which ones shouldn't if you don't want to be spoiled. Because right now, it really seems like it's up to creators' discretion, which is a little risky when you're dealing with a brand new chapter where surprises really, really matter and hype is at an all-time high, but it can also come crashing down very quick if the entire thing is spoiled with images and gameplay a week before it even comes out. Something that I do want to mention though, you guys, is that if Fortnite was going to give creators the permission to make gameplay and make the map and stuff like that available to people that early in advance, then I think Fortnite has a lot of trust in the fact that this season is going to be really good and that this chapter is going to get people excited. A week and a half is plenty of time for, hype to die down. You know what I mean? Because the event, I believe, is on the 27th or the 28th, and the 19th is a Wednesday. It's next Wednesday. So that's a lot of time for hype to, be built up or, be torn down, depending on what people actually show and how quickly it does come out. Because something that they did with the Simpsons season was all of the creators posted everything they had all at the same time. There was nothing hidden, but we will talk about that here in a second. And with that being said, the biggest reason that people are nervous is that this has already happened once. With the Simpsons season that we're in right now, creators also got early access, and literally everything was shown off. You guys probably remember the map, the battle pass, and something even crazier was even unreleased emotes that weren't related to the season because they were playing on the dev accounts were shown as well. The young, black, and rich emote, as well as a bunch of other ones were shown up as well. And it didn't get a ton of backlash at the time, but a lot of people were kind of like, this kind of sucks because basically nothing was left to discover when it launched besides for a few secrets and things like that. Now, some people are saying that the kind of early access makes sense for smaller mini seasons or, test builds and things like that, or seasons that are more experimental, but not for something as big as a whole new chapter that's supposed to follow up a massive story event. And a lot of people are worried that the story event could be completely spoiled if they show loading screens and things like that. And a lot of storyline fans do not want anything to be spoiled when it comes to this story, because like we've talked about on this channel, it's going to be really big with the 7 returning as well. Fortnite has always been about that kind of mystery and surprise, especially with the storyline. That's when it's at its best. And chapter launches especially are when everyone is experiencing it together for the first time. If we already know what the island is going to look like in terms of gameplay and what is in the past, that's kind of going to be gone, especially when it's a week in advance. Now, to be fair though, you guys, there's also a good side to this if it is handled a certain way. And I do think that this could still be a good thing. Now, a lot of people are saying this could actually be great for Epic because it will give them a full week week or more of feedback before the chapter actually releases. If players or creators, I mean creators would have already noticed it because they've already played it, but if players notice something, like people watching it, they notice something that's bugged, broken, or they're just not sitting well with people, they just don't like it, there's still time to make small changes or adjustments before the actual season launches, and that could make it a lot smoother when it actually comes out. And that's really not a crazy idea. A lot of other games have done this exact kind of thing specifically for early feedback and marketing. It's just new for Fortnite because we've never had, chapter level early access before, and with the Simpsons season, it was kind of whiplash because that was the first time any creator has been given early access to a season and been able to post it as far as we know. This could also be a great way to build up hype in a more organic way. If creators are just teasing and showing excitement without leaking like big story details or crazy stuff like that, it could actually make people more excited to play it themselves. Like I said at the beginning, I think it would be kind of cool if they just kept giving creators the permission to give out these kind of cryptic tweets and messages like they did with the video teaser a few weeks ago. I think that would be pretty sick as well. So overall, in terms of the community reaction, a lot of people are really split. A lot of people are fine with it, saying it's only a one-day test, and it's being handled by a small group of trusted creators, the big ones like Nick A30, but also this other guy that we talked about as well, among a bunch of others. Some people think that it's going to build hype, it allows people for feedback and gets people talking early, but others, though, are really not happy about this. A lot of people think it removes the mystery that makes new seasons and chapters special, but there's also people pointing out that Fortnite used to do only early access for cosmetics, not full gameplay. So if creators can explore the island and test mechanics, that could really change how, maybe metas form or how the first few days feel for regular players as well. And there's also a conversation to be had about other smaller creators kind of being duped over this in terms of, the Simpsons season and this season, but I'm not going to get into that today. It's definitely a big shift for how Fortnite handles like seasonal promotion and things like that, and that's why it's creating a lot of buzz right now, is because this has just never been done before and we don't really know how it's going to end up working. Now honestly, you guys, and I know you guys hate this when I kind of sit on the fence with sort of stuff, but I'm kind of in the middle on this because a lot of it depends on what is actually able to be shown. I totally get the people who are worried. The launch of a new chapter is definitely like the most exciting moments in Fortnite every year. It's the one time where everyone kind of goes in mostly blind. I'm not going to say there aren't leaks and like things don't get spoiled beforehand, because we do see, the map beforehand. We do see the battle pass maybe like, 1 to 3 days before, but this is a week and a half advance where we could possibly even be seeing gameplay. That's what makes it different. But at the same time, I can see how this could actually help Fortnite in the long run. If it's controlled, if creators are careful with what they show, and if it's done to generate hype without spoiling anything super major or big, I think it could actually be really smart and build up more hype than ever. Like I said, it's all going to depend on how much we see. If it just hints and teasers that keep the mystery alive, I'm all for it. But maybe if we start seeing, like everything like we saw in the Simpsons season, like we see all of the POIs, we see the story quests, we see loading screens that spoil stuff, and of course battle pass skins are going to be teased early and, leaked early, so I'm not too upset about that. That's where it's going to get a little bit messy for me. But at the end of the day, you guys, I think this really just shows how big Chapter 7 really is. Epic clearly wants this launch to be massive, and they're testing new ways to build hype for it along with the Simpsons season. So I think that goes to show how much trust they have in this being good. But overall, you guys, this whole thing just goes to show how much Fortnite is kind of evolving and changing over time. We've had leaks and rumors before, that's nothing new, but this is a totally different situation because we're talking about, full gameplay being shown beforehand. But whether you think it's a good or bad thing, it's something that is happening on the 19th, just about 10 days from now, a little over a week. When that does happen, I will be here to cover everything that's going on, and that has been shown. Of course, I'll be watching this closely. But if you guys want to catch up on where the story is heading next in terms of Chapter 7, because we likely won't know exactly what's happening in this, check out my video on the official 7's return and my Chapter 7 teaser breakdown as well. Both of those explain exactly how this new chapter might tie into Fortnite's biggest lore moments that we have ever seen. But let me know down below, you guys, how do you feel about early access as well? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. Drop a like on today's video. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.